Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Ignition Time. Let's take a look at some of the unbelievable comments emerging from the Republicans as they succeeded in shutting down the January 6th commission. But in some other news, it does look like Speaker Pelosi is going to make sure that the discussion, the debate, the investigation into January 6th continues. But first, let's start taking a closer look at what the Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, just said as he reiterated his opposition to the January 6th commission, which Republicans blocked last week. Here's a new comment from the Senate Minority Leader where he says, and I quote, "I think we'll know everything we need to know. We were all witnesses. We were right there when it happened," in his attempt to justify the Republicans shutting down the January 6th commission. Let's take a look at what the Senate Minority Leader said.
I don't think anybody's going to get away with anything. I think we'll know everything we need to know. We were all witnesses. We were right there when it happened. And I simply think the commission is not necessary.
And on another important subject, and by the way, the Republicans are very good at taking subjects like this and trying to divide us and trying to create further division between us. Politics in the end is about timing, it's about opportunity, it's about tribalism, us against them, which is what politicians are very good at doing, driving a wedge between people. And finally, it is about perception, what seems to be the case, not necessarily what is the case. Let's take a look at a new comment from the Senate Minority Leader where he talks about legal protection for police officers. And this, by the way, is a major sticking point in police reform negotiations between the Republicans and the Democrats. This is what Mitch McConnell said, I quote, "Without qualified immunity, how do you get people to do law enforcement work?" Let's roll the tape and hear from Mitch McConnell.
Without qualified immunity, how do you get people to do law enforcement work? There's a bill that's passed the House of Representatives that would eliminate qualified immunity. And for those of you who are not familiar with that, that means every police officer would be subject to being sued personally.
And Mitch McConnell says also when it comes to talk about defunding the police, he says, I quote, "I think defunding the police has got to be one of the dumbest ideas ever surfaced by anyone in our country." Let's roll the tape and hear from Mitch McConnell.
Fortunate. I think defunding the police has got to be one of the dumbest ideas ever surfaced by anyone in our country.
In the meantime, shifting gears from Republicans to Democrats, specifically Governor Phil Murphy, the Democrat from New Jersey, he marked a new law requiring that all state police officers, since we're talking about the police, he passed a new law requiring that all state police officers wear body cameras starting today, starting immediately. In fact, New Jersey joins 6 other states that require law enforcement to wear such cameras. Let's roll the tape and hear from the governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy. Let's watch.
And even though we now have a strong new law in effect, we know our work is not done. Body cameras alone cannot make a community safer. You know that great phrase, they are necessary but not sufficient. And I think that's the way we should think about this. We will continue our work to bring community leaders and law enforcement together for the vital and long overdue reforms that will bring about a new culture of policing in our state.
From one governor to another, this time let's take a closer look at what Governor Jim Justice, the Republican from West Virginia, is doing. By the way, West Virginia is the same state from where we have the conservative Democrat Joe Manchin and the state where we have the Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito. Governor Jim Justice, a Republican from West Virginia, announced new incentives to get vaccinated. And he says, I quote, "We're going to give 5 custom hunting rifles and 5 custom hunting shotguns away on Father's Day. And also on Father's Day, we're going to make one of you a millionaire." So if you're in West Virginia and you want to participate in this incentive to get vaccinated, there you go. You could win a bunch of guns and you could be a millionaire. Let's check out what the governor of West Virginia, Jim Justice, had to say. Let's roll the tape.
We're going to give 5 custom hunting rifles and 5 custom hunting shotguns away on Father's Day. And also on Father's Day, we're going to make one of you a millionaire. We're going to give away $1 million to somebody on Father's Day. That's it. And then we're going to continue that right along. Absolutely. And this is for all people that have been vaccinated.
From vaccination, let's make the jump to how large corporations have avoided paying $4 billion in taxes through an overseas tax structure that is complex and labyrinthine and hard to figure out. Take a look at this incredible new reporting from the New York Times. SpongeBob's and Transformers cost the US taxpayers $4 billion, according to a new study. A new report details Viacom CBS's use of a labyrinthine tax shelter to sell rights to its shows and films overseas without paying taxes. Yep, folks, we're talking $4 billion that was not paid to the US government because of a very labyrinthine system, a very complex system of setting up entities and selling and reselling rights, and the money that was supposed to go to the US government didn't go, which effectively means $4 billion in savings for these large corporations. And I can tell you that this is a huge area of contention between the Republicans and the Democrats. In fact, speaking of Democrats, let's take a look at Vice President Kamala Harris in an exclusive interview with Morning Joe. And she says this, I quote, "I eat no for breakfast. Don't be encumbered by the inability of others to see the potential of who you are." Let's roll the tape and hear from Vice President Kamala Harris. Let's see how she stands up for herself and encourages others to stand up for themselves as well. Let's roll the tape and watch.
Like I, again, tell a lot of people I mentor, I eat no for breakfast. So have I been told many times during my career, things from, "Oh, you're too young, it's not your turn, they're not ready for you, no one like you has done it before." I've heard all of those things many times over the course of my career, but I didn't listen. And I would encourage anyone who's been told that, whatever their gender, to not listen, because again, don't be encumbered by the inability of others to see the potential of who you are.
And speaking of standing up to ourselves, let's take a look at Senator Elizabeth Warren. Yup, she said we have a huge opportunity in Congress to make big structural change and finally hold those powerful companies like Viacom CBS that I mentioned earlier, finally hold those big companies accountable. We do that by fighting monopolies in any industry that threaten our economy. Let's roll the tape and hear from the one and only Senator Elizabeth Warren, the Democrat from Massachusetts. Let's watch.
We have a huge opportunity in Congress to make big structural change and finally hold these powerful companies accountable. We do that by enshrining strong antitrust principles into new legislation. We do that by reviving serious antitrust enforcement at both the FTC and the DOJ. And we do that by fighting monopolies in any industry that threaten our economy, our society, and our democracy. If we all make our voices heard, we can take power away from the wealthy and well-connected in Washington, and we can put it back where it belongs, in the hands of the people.
And finally, moving on from the Democrats to the Republicans, you can see that the Republicans have a different set of priorities. Here's a Republican, Joni Ernst, and she's a senator from the great state of Ohio. And she said this, and I quote, "The president continues to say it's not the enhanced unemployment benefits keeping people home. Well, folks, yes, it is. So it is time to end the $300 extra each week." From a Democrat who wants big companies to pay more, from exposés of large organizations that use labyrinthine tax structures to Republican senators in different states essentially saying, hey, it's time to end the $300 a week, which helps the most vulnerable amongst us. Let's roll the tape and hear from the Republican senator from the great state of Iowa, Senator Joni Ernst. Let's watch.
So the president continues to say it's not the enhanced unemployment benefits keeping people home. Well, yes, folks, it is. And so it is time to end the $300 extra each week that those unemployment recipients are receiving. If we can end that, we can get people back to work. In Iowa, our economy is open. We are open. We have been for a while. The problem is we have so many small businesses that simply can't get up and go because they don't have the employee.
Please click the like button. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications if you've learned something new from this video. I want you to know we work very hard on this channel to bring you the latest news. Thank you so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.